You enter a realm of spirit, of sight and sound and mind. Your radio is a cosmic doorway and your psyche begins to spark. When you tune in to Gary and the Sun and Night Dreams After Dark.
Night Dreams Talk Radio, After Dark, wants to give a big shout out to all the truckers that listen to our show. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark with our host, Gary Anderson.
And that is me. James, you got a real quick story you can tell? It lasts for about a minute, then we'll get Terry on.
Well, yeah, I guess I got another one here. Let me see. Again, I keep thinking of all these. I see so many patterns in all these reports and stories I get. It's mind-boggling. But here's one. There's a truly outlandish encounters with these insectoid mantis-type looking aliens. And we may hear something about that tonight. We don't know. But I have had several reports coming from, there was one out in New Jersey. Guy was fly fishing. He looked up, he heard a noise, looked across the stream, and there was two, looked like praying mantis, for a better lack of words, 6 foot tall, alien-type beings. And, they made eye to eye, but needless to say, he left his equipment there and took off running like somebody else. I know I won't mention no names with camera equipment, but, I guess when you see something like that, it's probably best to get out of there. But that was one report. And there's been other reports of these insecticide praying mantis-type looking beings, and they're usually the ones in the background where all the grays do all the work. Now, I don't know if you've ever come across any of those reports, but I've come across quite a few.
Well, I've read about a lot of those things, and that's what's scary. Let's get Terry on the line right now. I know he's been waiting. Hey, Terry, my friend, how you been doing?
Couldn't be better, Gary.
I am sorry I ran a little bit late getting you on, but, well, we're here.
We're here. Yay.
So,
hey, Terry.
Hey, Terry, what is the weather like in your location right now? And you're in Texas, if I remember right.
I'm in Dallas, northeast Texas. It's miserable. It's almost 35 degrees.
Oh, wow. Yeah, at least you don't have snow. I mean, part of the East Coast and Midwest is going to get hit with a lot of snow.
Oh, I know. Well, Michigan's my adopted home state, and I spent a lot of time in Vermont there as assistant AG. So, I'm no stranger to cold.
Oh, yeah.
And,
now, if I remember right, you were in the Air Force. You served your hitch as a medic, and then you went to law school? You became a attorney. You were assistant attorney general for the United States, and then you went into private practice, I believe. But all this happened while you were in the Air Force. You and your buddy, you decided to go on a camping trip?
Yeah, I was in the Air Force from 1973 when I got out of high school to 1979. I served 6 years. So I signed up for a 6-year enlistment. And really the intent was to get the GI Bill and go to college. So that was the plan. And my friend Toby and I worked at the emergency room at Whiteman Air Force Base for a big chunk of that time. We worked together. And it was Toby's misguided idea to take this crazy camping trip to Devil's Den State Park in northwest Arkansas in 1977.
Oh, wow. Now, you were a medic. You decided to go camping. I mean, I bet it started out as a good camping trip where you kick back and looking at the sky. Why don't you tell people what happened? And before we even get into that, we got to tell people what your name of your book is, where they can find it, and then we can get into what happened when you went on this camping trip.
Sure. By the way, happy belated Veterans Day to all the fellow vets out there. And my gosh, if you're on the road, please be safe. My book is Incident at Devil's Den, and it's on Amazon. You can also pick it up on my website, terrylovelace.com. And it is available in either a Kindle, a paperback, or what's most popular is the audio version. So, Amazon, Incident at Devil's Den.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So,
and you know what? It looks like a very good read. I tell you, I got a funny feeling after we're done with you here tonight, I'm going to have a hard time sleeping again. You know that.
You know, I've heard that a lot. I had many sleepless nights writing it. I'll tell you that.
I bet, it just, even ever since, I knew you were coming on the show, it just kind of reminds me of what happened to me back in the mid-'70s. And I haven't slept at all. I probably, in the past 5 days, probably got about 4 or 5 hours of sleep, which is less than normal for me. But, I normally sleep a little bit more than that. But I tell you, I'm excited. So here you and your buddy, he talks you in going on this little overnight camping trip or something. What? Okay,
yep.
So where did you go on this trip?
We went about 6 hours south of Whiteman Air Force Base to we thought we were in a state park. We thought we were in Devil's Den State Park. And actually, I just found out a reader of my book went on Google Maps, and using the where I said we went and the chain link fence or the chain across the road that we took down to get into the area, it's actually, our campsite is this high plateau. And if you go on my Facebook page, Incident at Devil's Den, and scroll down, I have the Google Earth pictures there. And you can see it plain as day. It's a triangular-shaped piece of land. It's a high plateau with just a dirt road to like 2 ruts going into it in the middle of nowhere. But dig this. It's groomed. It's cut. It looks just like it did the day we were there in '77, and it should be overgrown with 40-year-old trees by now.
Oh wow!
And yeah, so that's a little crazy why the federal government would spend money to cut the grass on the top of a plateau in the middle of nowhere. I find that curious, but it's still a restricted area. There's still no camping, hiking, no admittance. So yeah, if anybody's interested, the images and all of the map coordinates are all on my Facebook page on Incident at Devil's Den.
So here,
so we drove down there, and long drive. Neither one of us. Toby was from Flint. I was from St. Louis, Missouri. I'd never been camping in my life. Toby had never been camping in his life.
Good combination.
And, oh yeah, and we were kind of like the nerds of the outfit, of the squadron. Kind of the academics, and what do academics do when they want to do something they've never done before? They read up on it. So, I go to the base library, I try to find a book on camping or a magazine or something. I got a 1958 Boy Scout manual, and we're all excited. We're sitting around, and Toby's taking notes, right? And I'm flipping through this thing, and it's like, taxidermy skills and how to tie knots and how to snare rabbits, and this is not going to be any help. And my friend Toby says, "Hey, look, man, this ain't rocket science." He wanted to be an astronomer, and he knew the night sky. Like the back of his hand. He could predict satellites when they came over. He was really an exceptionally bright kid who had taken several physics classes and aced them on the Extension University on base at Whiteman, and he had hopes of going to University of Michigan or to study astronomy and then do graduate work. And just a bright kid. And his idea was we'd go down to this park and find the highest piece of ground we could find, camp on it, and my hobby was photography, and I could photograph eagles and wildlife, and he could hang around and watch the night sky. So that's what we did. We drove in the park, and we dodged the campgrounds and dodged the park rangers and drove into a back road until we came to this fence. No, not fence. It was a chain across the road with a pretty stern no admittance sign. And I said, Tob, we're not going to be able to get in here. And he's like, "No, man, hang on." And he hops out of the car, and the chain had just been looped around itself with a padlock to make like a noose, and it was hung over a post on a nail. So he hops out of the car, picks up this chain link fence, this chain, and drops it, and boom, we're good. We drive in. And we found this